Okay, hey guys, Justin Springer with Gorilla CrossFit 4-Way Strength and Conditioning. I wanted to talk a little bit about some common misconceptions. Last week we talked about how to build an approach to your training program. And so some feedback I always get, these are some consistent things that I hear about people who don't want to try maybe a different kind of program or this style of program. So I want to run through these real quick. And then I'm going to post another video that I shot a couple years ago on scaling and how we make one uniform program fit everybody's needs. And I think that'll really help give you some insight into how we train people here and a good approach to training overall. So first and foremost is this idea that it will be too hard. So I also want to make this distinction. CrossFit is a training methodology, but that doesn't mean that everybody as a member here trains with that methodology. We may use that as a way to help create a program, but it can be completely different for every individual. So scaling is the main focus for today. And that, again, the video I'll post in the comments will be about that. It's the idea that no matter what the workout is or what the load, the weight that's prescribed is, I can have anybody from a young 18-year-old college athlete to clients that I have that are in their 70s do that similar workout and get the same stimulus from it. But they're doing completely different loads on there or weight on there, and we're scaling the movements. Okay? So we scale to meet everybody's needs, and then we build up over time. So don't be worried about something being too hard. It will be something that we can scale indefinitely. Another thing I hear, and I get this from women a lot, is that if I do some sort of strength training, I'll get bulky. And I think that misconception is kind of driven by media and what you see in like bodybuilding shows and things of that nature. And been doing this for almost a decade, and I have a lot of women that train here and have trained for a long time and lift a lot of heavy weights. And bulkiness basically comes from the purposeful intent to get that kind of look. If you're looking to just train with some weights and get stronger, the bulkiness, I've never had an issue with that. So I think that I would kind of challenge that conception or that idea that that's what's going to happen with strength training. Classes aren't for me, so I hear this a lot too. We do have a lot of group classes throughout the day, but I also have a ton of people that I work with in personal training. So to give you an example, I have one set of clients, they're 70 and 71, they've been with me for about 3 years. And once a week, we meet and we talk about the week prior and the week coming up. And I basically, and I can't read this, but I put a sheet in a box here at the gym. And I program them 2 more workouts for that week. So I meet them every Monday morning at 8 a.m. We do a one-on-one training session. And then I have them in their box the next 2 workouts for that week. So they come in on Wednesday and Friday and they do the work on their own. And I made sure that they understood the work for that week, okay? So we do just as much personal training as we do group classes. And if after personal training you feel like a group class is something you might like, you can go that route, but you don't have to. I have people that stay in personal training for long periods of time, okay? Competitiveness, I know there are some stuff on ESPN that shows like the CrossFit Games and these very high-level athletes. And people look at that and they say, well, I couldn't do that, and that's not me. I don't really care about that aspect of it. And I kind of make that's akin to watching the NFL and saying, well, I could never play that. What we're doing is flag football in the backyard, which is very much anybody can do. So the CrossFit Games, this competitive approach to CrossFit is very much like a professional sport. What we do is focus on health, longevity, and movement. Okay? So the competitiveness can be there if it works for you, or it doesn't have to be there. I don't want to get hurt, so this is a huge one. What I like about this style of training, the functionality of all the movements we use, is that it brings all of our issues to the surface. So if we had a rotator cuff tear 10, 15, 20 years ago that never got repaired, when I start teaching you to press overhead or do a kettlebell swing, you might start to feel some aches and pains back there. Now this is not a new injury. This is just an injury that is not healed properly or has a bunch of scar tissue. So our goal is to not avoid that. Our goal is to then dig through that and work through that so that we can actually fix that problem. Okay, so we can always work around injury. I had some guy that just came off of a meniscus tear from doing something else. They had to shave down, but we're already working together now. He's already doing some mobility stuff. He keeps the habit of coming in the gym 3 times a week and just mobilizing, using a little bit of bands to get his knee moving. So don't let the fear of getting hurt, and again, this comes in good coaching as well, right? And making sure that we're limiting everything we put out for you. But it will bring all of our issues to the surface. And then we get to dig through them and make sure they're not long-term issues. Because they always are sitting there and they will arise in time if we don't deal with them now. That leads us into the final point is that I already have an injury or I've had a surgery. I have many, many clients that have had that. we can work around it. If we have our shoulders out of commission, we can work the left side. We can still do some cardio style work. We can do some lower body work. There's always something we can do to work around an injury. So don't let that be a hindrance. The best part about working with Susie at True Weight Loss is that we get two aspects, and we can communicate with each other about a particular person, and we can help create a plan moving forward. So if there are limitations or injuries or surgeries, we can work around that. Okay, so keep that stuff in mind, and I look forward to seeing most of you, or some of you, on July 11th here at the gym. We'll have a great fun workout, and we'll post another video next week.